Hi, this is PR Frank, and today I'm going to show you how to take an image like this of an old theater and restore it to look something like this. This artist has done many things, spent many hours on this image. I'm not expecting you to spend that many hours, but it's up to you if you like, if you want to make it look amazing. But I'm going to show you how to do 5 things to this. I'm going to show you how to change the background, much like he did. I'm going to show you how to use adjustment layers such as levels and curves to change the color and contrast of the building. How to add text to this marquee to make it look like it's in perspective using the vanishing point filter, how to add objects like these people with convincing shadows, and finally, how to use cloning and healing to fix some elements that are dilapidated about this building, like these panels or the marquee or some of these bricks. So let's get started on this first video, which will be how to change the background. And what I'm going to do is add a nighttime sky and a moon, much like he did. So we start with a search on the web, and I'll just type in nighttime sky. Brings me to this page, but I'd like to click on images. And then when I'm in images, use tools to kind of filter things. I want to make sure that I have Creative Commons licenses so that I can use them without getting myself into trouble. And size, large. The more pixels I have, the better it's going to look later on when I print it out, and the more I have to work with this larger image. If you'll notice, my image, if I go to image size, is 14 inches by 11 inches at 300 pixels per inch. So that's 4,200 pixels by 3,300 pixels. It's quite a lot. So when I find a background image, I'd like to have an image that's approaching this 4,000 mark if I can. So as we go in here, I can scroll down through and see all these nighttime images. I want to make sure I pick an image that's from the ground level pointing across to the horizon. I don't want something that's shot up into the sky like this or this because it's not shot from the same angle. So I can find something maybe like this one. Let's see how it looks. It's got 1,000 pixels. I could do better, but at least it's got 1,000. So let's go ahead and get that one. I'm going to choose Open Image in New Tab. That should give me the full size one, and save image as. I'll save it into here as the night sky. I'd also like to try to find a moon. Go back to my search and search for full moon. My tools should still be set the same way. Creative Commons, size large. And this is a pretty good looking image of the full moon. There we go. Lots of pixels, more than that sky almost. Open image in new tab. Save image. And I'll call it full moon. Okay. Now what I'd like to do in Photoshop is I'd like to make a selection to get rid of the sky. There are lots of ways to do it. I'm going to use what this is called the Object Selection Tool. It's a new tool to Photoshop. I can drag it around my building. It'll take a few seconds, and then it'll outline the building or what it thinks is the object. If I hit my mask button here, you can see that it has taken out the street too, but that's okay. I can get my brush, make sure that my foreground color is white, make sure that I have the mask selected, not the thumbnail, but the mask, and start painting back what I want to see. My other option is to grab my rectangular marquee and draw a selection all the way across, and then use Option or Alt Delete to just fill that in with white on my mask. So what I can see is white and what is hidden is black. So that's a really good place to start for now. I can get more detailed later. Now it's time to put my nighttime sky in there. So I'm going to go to File, Place Embedded. Here's my night sky. And it does do a good job of filling up most of that area. I'll just lift it a little bit, accept my change, switch my layers. And it's nice because some of those trees that were on the horizon are now on the horizon of this building. Now, of course, it doesn't look realistic because this building was shot in the daytime and this is a nighttime sky. But when we get to another video tutorial where I talk about adjustment layers using levels, curves, and maybe hue saturation, I'll be able to change the look of this building to make it look like it's nighttime. Put the moon in now. File, place embedded, full moon. You'll notice the moon has a black background on it, so it's not matching yet. But I'll go ahead and change the size of it. It's kind of nice how the artist had the moon kind of sticking at the top of the column on this building. So I'm going to do the same thing, put it up there so it's kind of behind it. But there's still some black around it. So what I can do is grab my elliptical marquee tool and just try to draw a nice selection around my moon until I get a nice selection. It might take you a few times, but there we go. I'll hit my mask button again, and now I have this moon that no longer has that black background, and it matches the sky pretty well. Once again, it still doesn't look realistic because it needs to kind of light up the sky. It needs to glow. This building needs to be a different color. But that can get you started with changing your background. And please join us for the next tutorial where we'll talk about how to use adjustment layers to make all of this stuff come together and match. We'll also use some layer effects. All right. See you in the next tutorial.